Hello students, today we are going to complete this chapter, crop production and management. This is our fifth lecture, right? Today we are going to cover this topic, that is harvesting. Harvesting of a crop is an important task. The cutting of crop after it is mature is called harvesting. In harvesting, crops are pulled out or cut close to the ground. It usually takes 3 to 4 months for a cereal crop to mature. Harvesting in a country is either done manually by sickle or by a machine called harvester. You can see here these two uh, methods by which the harvester used to do, by the sickle and the harvester, right? So in the harvested crop, the grain seeds need to be separated from the chaff. This process is called threshing. This is carried out with the help of a machine called combine, which are in fact a harvester as well as a thresher. Right. So you can see here this machine, combine machine. This is what? This is a process what we called as threshing, and this is carried out with the help of a machine called combine, which is in fact a harvester as well as a thresher. Next one is, on small holdings of land, do the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing. You can see here, by some in small places they used to hold this land by doing the separation of grain and chaff by winnowing, right? We have already studied this in class 6, how we do the winnowing, right? At home also our mamas used to do with the help of that bamboo से, which is made of bamboo, right? वो सुपड़ी जैसी होती है. That is what we called as a winnowing. Here some information is there, that is harvest festivals, right? In this, after 3 or 4 months of hard work, there comes the day of the harvest, isn't it? After working behind this field 3 or 4 months of hard work, there comes the day of the harvest. The sight of golden fields of standing crop laden with grains fills the hearts of farmers with joy and a sense of well-being. Their efforts have borne fruit, and it is time for them to relax and enjoy a little. The period of harvest is thus of great joy and happiness in all parts of India. So they used to celebrate this harvest festival. Next is storage. Storage of food grains is an important task. If the crop or harvested grains are to be kept for a longer time, they should be safe from moisture, insects, rats, and microorganisms. Isn't it? So, here when they if, when the crop greens, when they are kept to for a longer time, they should be very safe from the moisture, means there should be no wet means वहाँ पे कोई भी गीला प्लेस नहीं होना चाहिए, it should be totally dry. Insects, rats, and microorganisms, this should be all kept away from those crops, right? The fresh crop or harvested grains has more moisture, right? They having a more moisture. If freshly harvested seeds or grains are stored without drying, they may get spoiled or attacked by organisms, making them unfit for use or for germinations. Hence, before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun to reduce the moisture in them. This prevents the attack by insect pests, bacteria, and fungi. You can see here this insect pest, bacteria, and fungi. What they do, they will reduce the what they will do, they will prevents by this will prevents the attack by this insects, pests, bacteria, and fungi. So before storing them, the grains are properly dried in the sun so that they can reduce the moisture in them. Farmers store grains in jute bags or metallic bins. However, large scale storage of grains is done in silos and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. Isn't it? What? A large scale storage of grain, how they are doing, they are storing those grains in silos and granaries to protect them from what, from the pests like rats and insects. So so here the dry neem leaves are used to storing food grains at home. Why we using this dry neem leaves? They are used for storing food grains at home. For storing large quantities of grains in big godowns, specific chemical treatments are required to protect them from what? From pests and microorganisms. As you have seen in the previous uh, picture, that how this storage is done. For storing this large quantities of grains in a big godowns, or specific chemical treatments are required to protect from what, from this pest or microorganisms, isn't it? So this way, this is how they used to do. Hence this before storing them, the grains are properly dried. Where it is dried? In the sun to reduce the moisture in them, isn't it? So this will prevent by what? By the attack of pests, insects, pests, bacteria, and fungi. Understood? So after that, these farmers, what they do, they store these grains in jute bags or metallic bins. So, however, large scale storage of grains is done in a silos and granaries to protect them from pests like rats and insects. So, these dry neem leaves are used for storing food grains at home. Why? Because if storing large quantities of grains in big are required to protect them from pests and microorganisms, isn't it? So this is how here we have done. So what we have did till now summary, we will see that it is necessary. So it is necessary to prepare soil by tilling and leveling. Plugs and levelers are used for this purpose. So in India, what we have learned till now, that in India crops can be broadly categorized into two types based on season, that is rabi and kharif crops. Then it is necessary to prepare soil by tilling and leveling. Plugs and levelers are used for this purpose. Sowing of seeds at appropriate depth and distance gives what? Good yield. Good variety of seeds are sown after selections of healthy seeds. Sowing is done by seed drills. So, soil needs replenishment and enrichment through the use of organic manure and fertilizers. So, use of chemical fertilizers has increased tremendously with the introductions of new crop varieties. Then what we learn? We learn that supply of water to crops at appropriate intervals is called irrigations. And then we learn that weeding. What is weeding? Weeding which involves removal of unwanted and uncultivated plants, that what we called as a weeds. Then we learn today harvesting. Harvesting is the cutting of the mature crop manually or by machines. Which are the manually? That is sickle, and by machines that is harvester, isn't it? So, separation of the crops from the calf is called threshing. What is threshing? Threshing means separation of the grains from the calf is called threshing. Then we learn the how they used to store the grains. So proper storage of grains is necessary to protect them from pests and microorganisms, isn't it? So this microorganism like rats and insects and microorganisms to uh, to prevent from those things, we use dry neem leaves. By that we can store foods grains at home also. Then what we learn, that the last thing is the food is also obtained from animals for which animals are rare. So this is what we called as a animal husbandry. What I told, that food is also obtained from animals for which animals are rare. This is called animal husbandry. You can see here food is also obtained from animals for which animals are rare. This is called animal husbandry, right? So that is all in this lessons. We learn whatever we learn, so keep learning, isn't it? And keep have a writing work also in your notebook. What you will write, that things I will give you in a next lecture, what you have to write in your notebook. Till then you go through with all these topics and then learn it properly. Okay, till then, take care. Bye. Thank you.